They went with songs to the battle. They were young, straight of limb, true of eye, steady and aglow. At the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember them. For over a century, Canadians have honoured their war dead at cenotaphs across this country. However, soldiers who have fallen in other conflicts, the Boer War or in Afghanistan, have yet to be honoured. Peter Brzezinski and the Reverend Jim Short are doing something about that. Peter is a military historian, and the Reverend Jim is a former chaplain with the Canadian Armed Forces. The two men have worked on this project for nearly a decade and believe their efforts will provide a blueprint for other communities across Canada where families want to have names added to their local cenotaph.
A cenotaph is an empty tomb. It's not meant to be a memorial to war or to the might of Canada. It's meant to be a place of gathering for people where they can think about the soldiers who are lying overseas. So we come here to honor their memories.
Canadian military personnel were buried overseas. Their bodies weren't repatriated. So all of the names that you see on that cenotaph belong to family members who never were able to attend a funeral with remains for their family. And this is really a place of grief. This is sacred and holy ground.
There was no master plan for the creation of war memorials and cenotaphs across the Dominion of Canada. Every little town and hamlet and city and village in Canada created their own memorial, and many of them erected a cenotaph much in the same style as the Ladner Cenotaph. It's a granite obelisk. Other towns and cities have different designs. So again, it was all very free form, and each community could do its own thing. Again, with no funding from any central authority.
Some time ago, I met Peter Brzezinski, who's the local historian and keeper of the stories of the cenotaph, and he shared with me that there was a man who died in the Boer War, and he felt that that gentleman's name should be on the cenotaph.
There was no rules about how names were meant to be added to the cenotaph. So in Ladner's case, a committee was formed. They began collecting names. Names, I'm sure, were brought forward by members of the public. Names were remembered by returned soldiers who'd come home and said, well, we should really put somebody's name on. You know, he perished overseas.
We embarked upon a research task of trying to discover how one added a name to a cenotaph and what the criteria was. We approached Mayor Harvey and the Delta Council, and with their support and with especially strong support from Councillor Kruger, we proposed that anyone who lived in Delta at one time or another and who died in the service of the Canadian military and whose names were recorded in the Peace Tower books in Ottawa could be added to the cenotaph. And so this year, along with Percy Devereaux from the Boer War, we've added the name of Stephen Stock, who died in Afghanistan in 2008. And we've also added the name of Darren Miles Selby, a snowbird pilot who died on a training exercise.
On November the 10th, with the families of the fallen and local politicians present, the dedication took place.